Welcome to Get Out of the Way and Let Them Learn. My name is Jessica Duvall, and I am a teacher in Bismarck, North Dakota. Today we're going to look at completing a PBL project. Let's take a look at how PBL can play out in a marketing or business classroom. Raise your hand or chime in, or hopefully you've experienced a vacant lot like this in your town. We all have seen these types of lots, some right next door to our schools, because most towns do have vacant lots. It's something that everyone can relate to. In the Vacant Lot Project, which is a 2.5-week PBL project, it encompasses 3 learning outcomes. These outcomes focus on innovation skills, opportunity cost, and the use of decision matrices for decision making. The driving question of the project is how can a vacant lot be put to best use? To determine what the community should do with this vacant lot, students prepare interview questions and talk with members of the community, nearby business owners, zoning commissioners, and other stakeholders. The students conduct research to learn about opportunity costs, as well as how to construct or use a decision matrix. Each group of students uses its decision matrix to identify the best use for the lot. They might recommend that the lot should be replaced with a business, a park, a school, or some other possibility. At the end of the project, each group presents its results to a panel with a vested interest in the lot, such as the town council, mayor, or business development agency. What are the best tips and ideas that I can give you to make project-based learning a success in your classroom? First of all, get out of the way. You're no longer the sage on the stage. That's what the internet is for. Instead, be the guide on the side, nurturing, helping, monitoring your students as they do their work. That means holding weekly or even daily project meetings with each team of students. Be prepared for organized chaos. A PBL classroom is lively to say the least. So if you're one of the pioneers in implementing PBL in your school, you might want to give your administrators and neighboring teachers a heads up that things will look and sound different in your classroom. Be prepared for many possible solutions. PBL is always new, and there's no such thing as last year's results. In fact, as teachers, we're often pleasantly surprised by what students come up with. Set aside plenty of time to plan before implementing a PBL project. You definitely can't wing it like some of the less motivated teachers in your school. Being part of a panel of judges for the final presentation or outcome of the PBL project. Rather than taking on the burden of assessment by yourself, recruit administrators, other teachers, business professionals, and maybe even older students to help out as your panel of judges. Finally, keep an open mind. It's amazing how quickly things can change and evolve in a PBL classroom, so be prepared. PBL is not for the faint of heart. Let's look at a lesson learned by colleagues and his students in a PBL classroom. This picture is of a classroom. Phil Forshey is a high school business teacher in Ohio, and this is his 9th grade leadership students. The PBL project that these students chose involved collecting supplies for the troops in the Middle East. They did a fantastic job in gathering items to send to the troops, but they failed to take actual shipping costs into consideration. So at the 11th hour, the students jumped into action. Sure, they were devastated at first because they had worked so hard to collect the supplies, but didn't have the money to ship them. But they rallied. They got on their cell phones, made some calls to local businesses, and asked the businesses for donations to cover the cost of shipping the boxes to the troops. Representatives from the different businesses stopped by the school throughout the day to leave their donations, and by dismissal time, the students had more money than they actually needed. So they were able to put together even more boxes of supplies and send all of the items to the Middle East. Project saved. And the lesson learned by Phil and his students? PBL projects don't always go as planned, but they are always a learning experience. So many of the examples you see of PBL projects online are focused on the core academic areas. But MBA Research has created a business administration focused program called the High School of Business that uses PBL specifics to business across a series of 6 business administration courses. You can learn more about HSB at www.mbaresearch.org/HSB. During the current school year, teachers around the country will be piloting PBL projects, introducing students to project management. These projects will be available for free starting in the fall of 2016. Watch the MBA Research website for professional development opportunities and training on the PMIEF projects. Here are some additional sites where you can find information about project-based learning. And as a thank you for attending the workshop today, we're going to provide a link for you to download a free project. The project we're providing is titled The China Dynasty and focuses on economics and operations performance indicators. It will take about 2.5 weeks to complete. As discussed earlier, every PBL has a driving question. This is the question that students will answer at the end of the project. Individually, students will conduct secondary research to develop a written report comparing the production of goods in the United States to the production of goods in China. After completing their individual reports, each team of students will be given a stuffed animal and assigned the task of determining where they want to produce that item, in China or in the United States. To make their decision, each team will need to consider a number of factors, including how to produce the stuffed animal, what issues or risks might arise in production, and how to deal with those issues and risks. After considering these factors, each team will develop and use a decision matrix to select where to produce its stuffed animal, and then present an oral report explaining where the team chose to produce the item, what risks are involved in making the stuffed animal in the selected location, and how the team would deal with these risks. This is a great project to incorporate into your program and to test the waters of PBL or add to the PBL you're already doing. So here's the link to your free project. I would also like to draw your attention to the contact information for MBA Research, Twitter, Facebook, the website, the phone number for customer service, as well as the email address to customer service, service@mbaresearch.org. If you have any questions about anything discussed in this presentation or other information about MBA Research, please feel free to use any of these forms of contact. Thank you for your time.